Okay. Sorry about that. In addition to some of the other noises you may be hearing, the heater, the furnace in the place that we live has completely died. So there are workmen here fixing things. So you may hear some stuff in the background. But I wanted to show you today how I make the little nose for the little puppos. Little Puppo looks much happier now. Puppo has a nose. And you can see little puppy doesn't here have a nose. Now, the last time we looked at the head, you can kind of see that there's this little seam here, and we're going to need to cover it up. Now, one of the mistakes that I always make, always, and it's like I can never remember this until I actually sit down and do it. You can see I have 2 circles cut out here for the nose. And for this, I just use one of those circle templates. And I almost invariably cut out one that's too big and cut it out in wool. This is not good for something that is this small. It needs to be a wool acrylic blend, and I can tell by feeling these. And you can also see too big, too thick, not going to bend to my will, which is to make a nose, and this will. Something that I don't forget about, I've got this all threaded up and ready to go, is this right here. This is a, this is the thread. I like using thread on this instead of embroidery floss. Embroidery floss just isn't strong enough, and then pearl cotton is too thick. So you can see I've got a double strand here, and all that I'm going to do, and this is so hard to show because it's black, and it's black on black. I leave a little tail on here, and then I do a running stitch all the way around the outside edge, all the way around. It isn't, you know, the neatest work. I tend to, my eyes just will not do black on black work at night anymore. I can't see. I can't see where I'm going. I can't see what I'm doing. So I wait until daylight. And this, like I said, this isn't perfect. A lot of the black itself is going to hide any little mistakes or imperfections. I'm getting about 1 millimeter or so from the edge, 1.5 millimeters, and remembering that this is a wool acrylic blend, that I can't dance around too close to the edge. Okay, I don't know if you can see the little stitches around here, and I just need to make sure that they're both on the same side, so I'm going to take another stitch there. And again, I don't do a whole lot of measuring. Then, with these 2 tails, I start to pull, and you can see it beginning to form a little pocket. Now, I've gotten some teeny tiny little pieces of felt ready, and what I'm going to do with them is, using my tweezers, is I'm going to kind of cram a couple of these in here, because I need to kind of create a pocket. Okay, now you can kind of see what it looks like. Now you can see that there's a little tiny bit poking out, and then here is where I take my 2 ends, which is 4 each, four threads, and I usually use, is it a sheep head knot? Because I want it to be nice and tight. And that way, once I've pulled it, it's just not an overhand knot. It's gonna stay. Then, I wonder if you guys can hear that. We have radiators, and they're draining all the radiators and having to replace some stuff. So I'm not sure if you can hear it or not. And what I'm doing here is, now with that little pocket in there, so it's like in there and intact, I can take my tiny little tweezers and poke things in. And it's amazing how much you can get into these little noses. Because I want it to be nice and stiff and hard. Okay. still feel like I'll probably get another one in there. And I'm really, this is the thing, I'm not being extraordinarily gentle with this. I'm really giving it a good jab in there. And I think that should do it. Now, when it gets to this point, and I have the two ends, I do another, like I said, sheep's head? Sheep shank? I don't know. I just know that it works. Okay. I need to get rid of these two, so I'm going to snip that off. And grab a bigger needle, bigger eye of a needle. Thread those two puppies through there. And get rid of them. Which means I jab it through once. Give it a tug. Ooh, don't lose that. And then one more time. Just because I want that in there. Pull. Yep. Okay. Now, sometimes what I need to do is it's not closed up enough and there's too much showing. So sometimes what I have to do is stitch across this. And I'm going to show you, even though I really don't really need to do it on this one, because when I do the fit on this, you can see the little nose fits really, really nicely. Sometimes I will go back and forth, which means I'll go across here and then I'll take a stitch and pull those edges together. But in this case, I like how it's fitting, so I don't want to do it. So again, I'm going to pull through a couple of times and snip that off. Get rid of that needle. And it needs to go here, but I never quite trust that it's going to stay. I could stitch this on, but I don't want the black stitches to be visible here. So my fix, where did my fix go? I lost my fix, is a piece of wood that apparently has gone missing. It's very tiny. That's probably why it's gone missing. Yeah, wooden pegs, toothpicks, etc. What I do is I use a lot of toothpicks, and you can see I've got one here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to whittle off a little bit of the end. You can see here, I'm making it a little thinner. This is something I do a lot. This is why I have them out. Get a little bit more off that one, because you really don't need much. Okay, and then for things with toothpicks, I think we're going to go there. And I'm nipping a little bit more off because I want this to go through smoothly. And I'm going to use this tool, my awl. Now, and some glue, which I should have had out. And there's Count Fabulous. Basically what's going to happen is this is going to go in here. And then this is going to get mounted into the nose. So what I need to do, I'm going to nip off. I don't like having the super pointy part of the toothpick. I kind of want it a little bit more blunted like that. So what I do is I decide where I'm going to put it, and I know it's going to go right there. And I give it a poke. It's not... It always feels like I'm hurting them. I know I'm not hurting them. And then I've got one of my bamboo skewers. One of the things with felt is it'll move out of the way. Okay, so I got that there. I need to get a little hole here. Come on, glue. I'm going to put dab of glue in there. And I'm going to put this in the hole. Give it a good squeeze. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back in the nose. Okay, so it looks about like that. And sometimes it you know, it's going to be fitting about there. So, I'm going to put, instead of here, because I want to know where I'm going here, I'm going to put the glue all around here. And this is just regular old tacky glue. And then I go in and I start finagling and pushing. Okay, so you can see I've got the nose on, and if I let go, it's going to push apart a little bit. So I take a couple of needles, and not where the glue is going, because I don't want the glue to attach to the needles. And this is just enough to hold the little nose on until it's completely dry. And then I can come in and add the little mouth with some stitches and hide the stitches underneath. So that's how little Puppo gets a little schnozzle. Schnurf, schnurf, schnurf.